How's everyone doing? This is the Cool Club. I am the Glitch Trap. Bong, bong, bong. So we have another review, a cool review. And this movie here is called Fall. This is a 2022 release. And this is a movie called Fall. This is the gist of this movie basically is best friends Becky and Hunter find themselves at a 2,000-foot radio tower. And this is a thriller. They have I don't get why these women were at the top of this radio tower to begin with. And if you watch this film, as you know, you'll have the same questions. Now, as far as when you watch the Glitch Trap reviews, there's gonna be spoilers here. I've watched the whole film. I didn't have to. I don't sit through these films to not reveal what happened. Now, you know, when you watch these reviews, I watch these movies, so you don't have to. Now, if you want to go see it after the fact, go do that. Now, I don't. Again, you can watch this whole movie, and they'll never properly explain, or you won't understand why they're at the top of that tower. I don't care, like, if people have adrenaline, we know that there's adrenaline junkies and things like that. But these two women had no business climbing to the top of this rickety, rusty tower that was 2,000 foot. I mean, pardon me. This was a 2,000-foot radio tower that was scheduled to be demolished in like a month. Why would you think that that would make any sense to do? But that just goes to show you, man, that when you go play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. So you have the one friend, Becky, her husband dies. He ends up dying from a fall. He's an adrenaline junkie. So in turn, she's distraught. She's just getting drunk. She's basically downward, having a downward spiral in her life, contemplating suicide, having near suicide attempts, and her father is trying to help her. Daddy Dearest is trying to come help her out and do his thing, do what he's supposed to do. Basically, reel her in from killing herself, and because she's literally like one step away from suicide. He's trying to step in and do what a father's supposed to do and save her, telling her, informing her, that the guy, her husband, he wouldn't be doing that same thing if the shoe was on the other foot. And I mean, for some reason, the father had some special movie intuition that the guy was an asshole. So he called her friend. They have a Dan and Becky have a mutual friend. So he called her, and now some Dan has imparted his gung ho, kill yourself nature on on Hunter, on Becky's friend Hunter. So Hunter comes and tries to to save Becky from her suicidal mindset, her suicidal stupor, or drunken suicidal rut per se. To do that, she sees fit to talk her into climbing a 2,000-foot radio tower. Makes no sense. And of course, because both of them have been indoctrinated by Dan's gung ho, live your life, you're dying to live mentality. He has some silly motto: you're not living, if you're dying to, something stupid. Basically, one of these evil Knievel mindsets, mottos. And Dan, remind you, Dan died from falling from a fall. So how stupid can you be? Like, you're only as good as your leader. Like you can't usurp the master like this. So you're following Dan, who basically fell from climbing, mountain climbing, doing the extreme shit that he pushed to you, and you end up doing the same thing. And in the movie, you'll see what it gets you. It's like you just follow. You should have known better. Like you should have known this was gonna happen. And I'm not gonna lie. Some of the CG was definitely questionable in this movie. Like there were some good story points. Like there's some decent acting in this movie. The two women they really held it. I would say they held it down as far as having a two woman. Like it's not many people cast in this movie, so it takes a like a dynamic and a decent acting ability to be able to keep people engaged. Really, it's the story itself. Like it's a creepy thing, the way that they shoot it, the way that they shoot the film, and have you like to give you that sense of height. The view itself, the way that it was shot was basically like a character in itself in the movie, I would say. It was like a character itself, the way that the movie was shot. And I will give that to them. Kudos to them, bravo to them. Now there's some questionable CG in the beginning, and there's some questionable CG throughout the movie. But that, the sense of height that you get, if you're scared of heights, hey, this movie will creep you out, and rightfully so. But let's get back to the story. There was just so much that was just didn't that just make you just kind of be like, what are you doing? It made the audience, it kind of took you out of the movie a bit with the just the unrealistic aspect of, if anyone, for this woman, I know all of them were some extreme junkies or mountain, outdoors junkies. But for you to see this tower, not one person, but two decide to climb it after this guy that's, her Becky's ex-husband, or her deceased husband, and Hunter's friend, they both know this person. After this guy falls to his death, while Becky's still holding his ashes in a box, you're gonna climb this rickety 2,000-foot rusted radio tower. You're gonna follow behind Hunt. Hunter's gonna suggest it, and you're gonna go behind her. Like, and once you two get there, you don't look at that and be like, this isn't even structurally sound, and not decide to do it. Okay, so the audience buys that. There's so many things that's going wrong as they begin to do it. As you're climbing the ladder, there's rungs breaking off as you're climbing it. Soon as that occurs, don't you think that I'm gonna climb right down? I'm gonna climb down and just be like, look, we're gonna forego that trip. Are you nuts? We shouldn't have even been here in the first place. Now, Hunter seems to be the one who's just like, and I mean, her character is very, like, her character seems like she has a death wish. You understand? It's not about living life to the fullest. No, her character, she has a vlog, and it's called Danger D. She's calling herself Danger D. All right, it's Danger D. It was very lame. It's very cringe, but hey, it's kind of realistic to the point of, you do have people like that. They'll do anything for clout. And that's basically what she's doing. She's so gung-ho and doing all that stuff because she's getting paid from a vlog and things like that. So I can see why, she'll have more free range to just throw caution to the wind, and while she's trying to do whatever she needs to do to get the views. But Becky, there's no reason for her to risk her life this way. The only thing is she also, remember, she's also suicidal. Dan, she misses Dan so much. She's trying to, and the whole plan is to take his ashes to the top and then spread them out on the top of the tower. Again, this man died that way. Don't you think he would be better served if you keep yourself alive and don't do nothing stupid. But no, here we go on a cell tower, on a climb in a cell tower death trip. And basically, we all know what happens from there. There's a lot of good suspense moments that happen up there. We know the ladder breaks, of course. And that made no sense. Like, but again, you should have had more sense than that to climb a rickety radio tower. And you have, like, again, there's some bad CG moments between that, but all in all, it's a good suspense romp. There's some twists and turns with the story. That some of those pretty predictable, you know. And I'll go ahead and I won't spoil the rest. I'll let you go ahead and watch the rest. But it's definitely worth watching. Like I said, you have two women who basically held the story themselves. I mean, held the movie themselves with their acting ability and their way to engage the audience. There was definitely some unrealistic moments in the movie, but and if for the guys who don't like the woke elements and all this, there's definitely some male, you could say some underlying male bashing going on. Like there's a scene where two males, where they use a flare gun, right? There's two males out there camped out in the RV, just camped out in the desert doing barbecuing ribs. They barbecuing ribs, drinking beer, just had doing God knows what. These women shoot the flare in which they found from conveniently from a box up there in the cell tower. They shoot the flare. The guys see the flare. They look with the binoculars, see that it's two women stranded up there. What they go do is they go up to the place, find the women's car, break into their car, and just rob them and drive off and steal their car. Come on now, like we're on what on God's green earth? Like who would do that? You gotta be just. And why would they just conveniently be the slimiest criminals, not only just the slimiest criminals, the worst individuals on earth out there in the desert, barbecuing ribs. So it's like there's a lot of things convenient, like to move the story along in this movie. Again, it's not a long movie. This movie is like a hour and 42 minutes long. To move the story along, again, there's a lot of things thrown in. But for what it's worth, it's definitely a decent suspense thriller movie that you can watch. Especially if you know someone who watch it with someone who has a fear of heights. And I think they'll get a kick out of that. So there's the rating here that I agree with, that's given 6.8. I'll agree with that rating. I'll agree 6.8 is out of 10. I'll say 6.5 out of 10. I'll give this movie a 6.5 out of 10. So with that being said, you have fall 2002 release. 6.5 out of 10 is the rating. The cool rating we're going to give it from the Cool Club. I am the Glitch Trap. Till next time, kiddies. Bah, bah, bah. Gone.